Welcome back to Simba's Mighty Adventure. Please wait.
As we get ready for the big finale.
Tommy, no, Mother. Kiara's right.
You heard Kiara in the clip of the movie that we didn't show because it doesn't really help introduce the level.
Because our context it makes it look like, you know what, fuck you. I suddenly just like...
You can tell that
Let's attack to... Nah.
it's because you have to understand that back in these days, watching movie clips in your video game was like this big novelty.
It really was. It was never gonna...
Especially if you were the sap who owned the N64, which made them even rarer.
Yeah.
And now we go for the final level.
And there you go.
However, instead of Zira simply falling to her death in the water, we're going to have a proper duel between her and Simba after the climb.
Climb. Oh, no, Jeremy, it's not the climb, it's just climb or fall, more accurately, since they're going downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Hey, that sounds like an interesting idea for a Miley Cyrus song.
What, fall?
No, climb.
Stop Zira, save Kiara.
To stop her from taking over the Pride Lands. How she plans to take over the Pride Lands from down here, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a bit weird, though.
Well, it's not so much that. It's more so the fact that she was about to attack Simba because she can't
sorry, that's it, 0-1.
Now, what I was saying was that... Well, remember, what was about to happen is that, Simba was even telling Zira, look, Zira, it's time to bury the past. Just forget. And I will never forget. This is for you, Scar. So she can't let go of her hatred. She's just been fueling her own hatred so much that she can't let go of it, and that's why she attacks Simba. But of course, Kiara protects her, and that's how they both fall. So it's not so much about taking over. It's more so the fact that she refuses to let this go. So
that's the thing, though.
I just love the line that Timon gives about stopping Zira from taking over the Pride Lands.
That's the thing, though. Zira and those few lionesses must be the biggest Scar fans in the whole Pride Lands, because Scar was a really shitty king.
Yeah, that's the primary. Yeah, that's the one primary issue of the movie. Like, the movie has some really good execution in its storyline. It's more, but it's the basis of the premise that's very shaky.
Yeah, and that's a real problem. That's the main motivation of the villain, and that motive is pretty shaky considering that Scar was a shitty king.
You have to ask where these Scar fangirls came from.
Everyone around that we saw was objecting to Scar. Even the hyenas were like, Scar, you haven't got any food.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where the filmmakers... Go on.
I could actually see where some are coming from in the idea that they're Scar stands because they look at the positive stuff he did. One of the positive things he did was uniting the lions and the hyenas, which, on paper seemed like a good idea here. The problem was that Scar was obviously corrupt, though. Some probably don't choose to see it that way, and well, given how we have a lot of corrupt politicians these days that for some inexplicable reason have a lot of fans and followers, I'm actually not too surprised that Scar had fangirls who pretty much would have stood by him no matter what.
That being said,
kind of a story explanation would have been better, though. Like, maybe some of them got closer to him because they thought they might benefit. They might actually get some food and stuff.
Yes.
Like,
you were saying, Pedro?
Well, let Joe finish. Go on.
I do. Now that you mention it, Shira, I do wonder if part of the original idea was going to be that,
Zira was running in place there, but...
No. That was actually a random mook lion there.
Well, whatever that lion was, she was walking in place.
You finish so Pedro can say his piece.
But I do consider that given how originally Kovu was supposed to be Scar's actual kid, part of me wonders if Zira was really just that enraptured by Scar because they had a little bit of
excuse me, Jova, Kovu is not Scar's son. He was handpicked by Scar to follow
Yeah,
his
sure.
footsteps.
That's what you're gonna say, movie.
So anyway,
Yes, movie. That's what they call
We ha-
it now.
well, Miss Shira, we have to say it, otherwise we'll get in trouble. So,
anyway, you were going to say Pedro earlier?
that's the thing, Dibs. Believe it or not, despite its shaky foundation, The Lion King 2 still manages to, at the very least, be an entertaining story. Whereas Lion Guard has an even shakier foundation and far worse writing.
Oh yeah.
Pedro, because
I'll stick with Lion King for you, if that's okay.
Anyway, you were saying, Shiroi?
I mean, yes, like the basis of the plot is contrived, but I do understand why Pedro likes it much better overall, because I certainly watched it a lot more, and the characters are actually really good, and you know, it's just...
My issue with
I do like whoever voiced Kiara, because she's mainly well known for being in the Scream movies. They're putting in a more dramatic take this time. I thought worked out pretty well.
I actually forgot that she reprised her role in Lion Guard.
Here's my sense on Lion King 2. I love the movie. That said, whether you like, love, or hate the original movie, you can't deny that Lion King 2 is a very good character study for, well, a lot of the characters here. For Simba himself, for Zira, for Kovu, for Nuka. Like, hell, even Timon and
Pumbaa, like Pedro said, and I do agree with that.
My issue, I
didn't like them in the original, but I will agree that they were improved in Lion King 2.
And the remake.
Lion King 2, Lion King 2 does what a sequel should do: build off of the original in every way it can. And holy cow, that's a nightmare.
All right, I'll say it properly this time. Prepare to fight Zira. There you go. That good?
Dwibs burped.
Oh. Well,
but yes, that was
okay.
good.
We heard you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I should explain. Okay. So the fight against Zira is basically the fight with Scar again. I'm not kidding. She basically does the exact same thing. She attacks you, and then when you hurt her a bit, she goes back into that higher platform and just drops rocks on you. It's basically the same boss battle.
This time it's logs, and you can't cheese it as much as the Scar fight, but...
Well, yeah. Okay, fine. It's logs, but it's mechanically speaking, it's basically the same fight. I should explain myself. My issue with Timon and Pumbaa in the first movie is how they're literally teaching Simba to run away from his problems, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if the movie acknowledged and properly called out for that they're doing something bad. But the movie never at any point does that. Timon and Pumbaa eventually do. Okay, we're gonna fight your uncle for this. Yes, this is my home. No, okay, fine. Compare this to how they handle it in the remake. In the remake, they even make it so that Timon and Pumbaa are full-on nihilists and say that there's a line of indifference on how you should only look out for yourself and everything. You know. But then, of course, Simba grows up, they pass all those years together, and then by the time Simba does leave to go back to Pride Rock, Timon and Pumbaa follow him, and that has my favorite scene in the remake, which is well, we're here to help you. And it's like, wait, what about the line of indifference? And then Pumbaa's like, well, we found out that sometimes it curves a little. And then I like Timon's line even better. What I'm trying to say, Simba, is that I'm always happy to admit when Pumbaa is wrong.
Such a Timon thing to say. See,
so there you go. See, an actual acknowledgement that the Hakuna Matata song is technically teaching a bad lesson. See, that's all I wanted.
My stance has always been that I feel like Timon and Pumbaa were fine, though I will give you this. While I do get the intent with them was never to be that way, the movie could have maybe have added in an extra line or so to make it apparent that, which honestly is what it feels like Lion King 1.5 was meant to do, essentially. Like, point out that, yes, they did have their character development, and no, they actually did mean well. Like, so, to their credit, Simba never flat out told them what his problem was. I do believe that if they knew the full picture of it, they wouldn't have completely enraptured Simba with the idea of just putting it behind here and there. Now, mind you, Hakuna Matata apparently is meant to be something that helps calm one, but is not meant to be the complete life lesson to live by, as Lion King 1.5 goes off of. Though, to be fair, we're only going off of Lion King since, that was before Lion King 1.5 was made. So by the context of Lion King, theirs is a bit of a shaky edge here. But of course, they became incredibly popular characters to the point of getting their own TV show.
I actually love the Timon and Pumbaa show. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, me too.
But it's one of those things where, like, that's one of the main reasons why I actually prefer Timon and Pumbaa in the second movie as well, because not only do they're more caring. Like, for example, they just help. We just saw that scene where they carried Simba back to Pride Rock. And I honestly like their jokes in the second movie better, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I get the feeling that even as early as Lion King 2, some of the makers of the original film were thinking, yeah, in hindsight, maybe we made Timon and Pumbaa a little too nihilistic, and maybe we should have, made their development more apparent. Which they definitely do, starting with Lion King 2, and I've always gotten the idea that that was never the intent to be, it's just that that's how it unfortunately came off as. Anyway, Zira's dead. Well done.
Well, she's the villain,
Yay.
so...
Oh, I missed the fight.
Yes. Don't worry, Dwebs.
The same fight.
Don't worry, Dwebs. The Zero fight is basically just a reskin of the Scar fight, basically.
Well, okay, to be fair, she has more health, and instead of rocks, she throws logs, which are a bit harder to dodge.
Again, what a difference.
It's one of those cases.
Excuse me, did we hate this guy? There you go.
It's one of those cases where, like, I'm willing to forgive a shaky foundation if the writers are at the very top capable of telling a good story with that. The Lion Guard can even claim that. Lion Guard has a Lion Guard not only does have a shaky foundation, it retcons shit from the first movie, and has an incredibly silly Gary Stu driven identity to it, where they literally give their new OG character a fucking roar that can shake the earth.
One honestly wonders if the idea was that Disney at some point realized, oh god, this is a turkey we have, and that's why they put it on Disney Junior.
They basically left it there to die, basically.
And yet, somehow it survived for 3 seasons.
Okay, mind you, again, as much as I thought, granted, compared to the other direct-to-DVD films that released for Disney in 1998, the Lion King 2 is a masterpiece. The other two that came out that year were Belle's Magical World and Pocahontas 2.
Oh.
Well, wait, hold on, wait. Isn't Pocahontas 2 actually one of the good ones?
I've heard it's awful.
Kind of. It depends. Okay, I do like the middle portion. I will say that. I do like the part where she's, trying to understand the civilized world and everything. That I don't.
I've heard most people say that apparently Pocahontas 2 is better and apparently more historically accurate.
That's
than
what
the
I was
first
about to
one.
say.
Yeah.
That's the main point people give the movie, but that's about it.
The primary reason that movie was made, Shiro, was actually to address the complaints of the first film that it wasn't historically inaccurate. So basically, that movie is the filmmakers there. Now it's historically accurate. Happy. And to be fair, I do enjoy some of the bits in the second act. However, by the time we get to the third act, things get so dumb and stupid that is just...
Oh yeah, the whole... Well, you know what? We'll save that for when we actually commentate on that.
One further thing I'll say is that the director of Pocahontas 2, from what I can tell, has a really mixed track record. On one hand, he did stuff like Once Upon a Christmas and Lion King 3. I'm not sure about the Tinkerbell movies, I haven't seen them. But on the other hand, he also had Hunchback of Notre Dame 2.
Okay. I can assure you, Lion King 1.5
that was a movie.
Okay. Lion King 1.5 is a good movie. Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, I'm not even sure I can call it a movie as opposed to an instrument of torture.
No, right? Hunchback 2 is literally Hunchback of Notre Dame fan fiction. It exists solely for the purpose of giving Quasimodo a girlfriend.
And not even a good girlfriend at that.
No.
That's the thing though, Pedro, didn't we saw Pocahontas, sorry, not Pocahontas, we saw we saw Notre Dame 2 with another movie the same day, didn't we? To find out which one was the worst.
Yeah.
Wait, you put yourself through Hunchback of Notre Dame too?
Well, Dibs hadn't seen
Yeah.
it before, so...
Yeah.
Oh, so what were your first thoughts of it, Dibs?
I didn't like it.
Anyway,
Okay.
the minigames...
Yeah, we can talk about that later. Mini games now.
The minigames involve that puzzle, which is a jigsaw puzzle, which, well, you get the point. It's basically a screenshot of the movie. I don't think... We all know how the jigsaw puzzles work. Let's get to the actual proper minigames. So there's a bug catching one. Let's see.
If I recall correctly, does this game? I think this game may have had a multiplayer.
Help Simba
minigame
catch and
as
eat
well.
bugs. Timon and Pumbaa will try to help you by shaking the log. Press left to move Simba's paw left, and right to move his paw right. No shit. Press the X
Can I have
button to
time,
catch a
please?
bug.
Sorry.
Game stops if 3 bugs get away. Go to 14 minutes, please.
Right.
Hey, guys, guess what? Press left to move left. Press right to move right.
Wow.
That's the X button
14.
for the.
Okay, hold on, and click. Oh wait, sorry, did I say 14? Sorry, Shiro.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay. Go ahead to 17 minutes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry, it's just Timon and Pumbaa jumping and giving us bugs and Simba grabbing with his paw. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it. You had 17?
Yes.
Alright, just wait 30 seconds. Yeah, that's basically it. You're only allowed to miss 3. If you miss 3, you lose and you have to start over. Try again. That's basically it. You just keep doing it until you lose, really, or until the time runs out. There's not that much to it. Let's move on to the next one.
These mini games are more or less simple time wasters. I could have sworn one of them was multiplayer.
Was it? I'm only playing with one controller, so...
I might be misremembering or mistaking this with another game.
Alright, Shiroi, and click. There you go. Well, Kiara, find matching rocks. Clicking with the X button on a rock will flip it over. When 2 rocks are the same, they will stay face up. If they don't match, they both turn face down. Try to be quick. So there you go.
Like a game of memory, essentially.
It's like in Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yep.
Funny how there was no direct-to-DVD sequel to 1999.
I'm guessing they were all in production schedule. I don't know. Anyway,
They
okay.
wanted to take a break.
Like, okay, you know what? To give Disney credit, despite the mixed quality of their direct-to-video market as a whole, aside from a few that were blatantly rushed, I never really got the inkling that they were, skipping them for quality's sake and rushing them. Again, there were a lot of stinkers, but
You say
But
that,
at the very least-
you say that, Jova, but Hunchback 2 would definitely be one where I would consider definitely having been skipped on quality, because even the animation in that movie looks terrible.
like I said, not all of them, but like for the most part, it didn't feel like they were rushing them. Like, for as terrible as Mulan 2 is, at least it has good animation.
It does, except for that one part where Shang gets angry and there's that terrible face that people have memed by this point plenty of
I
times.
have no idea what was going on with that, but yeah, I mean, to give Disney credit, like a lot of their direct-to-video movies at least looked the part. Granted, yes, there were some that clearly did not.
Yeah, look at Brother Bear 2, which is such a phenomenal waste of good animation.
And then there's Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay, so can we talk about the real issue of Hunchback of Notre Dame 2? How do you follow up what is definitely one of your best-looking Disney movies with one of your worst-looking sequels?
Ugh.
Like, seriously, the animation in Notre Dame is, top-notch, to say the least.
You know what's
And then
interesting?
the sequel.
You know what's interesting? Apparently, it was TMS that animated that.
What?
The sequel?
Yeah, Hunchback 2, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, it looked like they were really out of their depth.
Well, remember, guys, it's TMS trying to imitate Disney animation. It's not exactly something that they excel at.
But the fact that they couldn't even get it looking good at all is just...
That movie's just bad and ugly and ugly and bad.
Hyenas have surrounded Rafiki and he needs your help fighting them off. Press a directional button with X to attack in the direction of an approaching hyena. If 3 hyenas knock Rafiki down, the game... So there you go, they turned that bit where Rafiki's beating the hyenas with a stick into a minigame.
Yep.
But Shiroi now quasi gets his own girlfriend.
I didn't like the first movie was fine except for the
Never mind.
gargoyle.
Never mind the fact that his entire.
Oh god.
Never mind the fact that in the first movie, the entire arc of Quasimodo was his selfness, and how he was able to look past himself and accept the fact that if they're happy together, I'm happy for them. Never mind the fact that, giving him a girlfriend as a freebie, basically downplays his noble self-sacrifice in the first movie.
It's funny you mentioned the gargoyle, Shiroi, because they get an even more expanded role in the sequel.
I know. I've seen that shit movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me guess, it's your favorite Disney movie.
Oh no, guys, Rafiki died.
Oh,
Well,
no, what will we do?
And the hyenas kill Rafiki. There you
That
go.
was a dark ending.
There you go, dudes. There's your dark twist ending for Lion King 1. Rafiki dies.
Oh, I mean,
Wait,
well,
but he sounds alive now that he's narrating again.
That's his
Yeah,
ghost
that's
over.
yeah, well, basically, I mean, to be honest, guys, a lot of animated movies would be
Hold on, guys.
could do with edits on YouTube.
Guys,
where the
hold
ending
on.
gets dark.
I mean, look. Left to move Pumbaa left. Right to move him right. Up to move him up. Down to move him down.
An extra set on the meerkat.
You know what's weird is the fact that the Rafiki one literally just says use the directional buttons.
Timon, what's up with your face?
And also, I'm looking forward to if only YouTube's copyright system went as it is, because I totally would have done that that thing I mentioned when I was watching Whisper of the Heart with Pedro, the ending where none of the characters are looking both sides of the road and they get hit by a car and bam, that's the movie over. And then a sad version of Country Roads plays over the credits and the message of the film comes up on screen. Look both ways, you plebs. That's what Whisper of the Heart was missing, a road safety message.
Obviously.
I suppose. Complete with the song Country Roads, though.
Yeah, that's a thing, Joe. Okay, since Whisper of the Heart was dubbed by Disney, that was the reason it took a while for that film to come out on home media, because Disney had to spend quite a few years, along with Ghibli, clearing the rights to use the song. And it's not like they could just replace it, because A, Ghibli really, really wouldn't like that, and B, it's an integral part of the film.
So, there actually are some interesting thanks cheats that you can unlock with a code that do some weird things, as I'm about to demonstrate.
Observe.
I actually, a few years ago, bought Alice a Baron music box that plays that song too.
What, the Circle of Life?
No, Country Road.
Ah. So I was a fan of Lion King.
I don't know.
Hey Alice, are you a fan of Lion King?
She's not in the room. Can't hear you anyway.
I mean, hey, it's got
Hold
cats.
on, listen to this. See? I can play as the bouncing plant.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Simba's cosplaying channel.
Talk about the precursor to mods, though. I mean, I'll admit, some of these cheats are very, very creative. I mean, mind you, you could have some weird cheats even in prior years of gaming, but being able to play... But being able to play as the bouncy plant itself is an interesting level of mixture of freaky but cool.
Is there a cheat where we can play as Scar and alter the timeline?
So Lewis's cheat. Let's see what Lewis's cheat does.
Also, I love how going to the cheat menu prompts the woman to sing the Circle of Life.
Yeah, every time you select a cheat, the woman goes, Circle of Life! You need 100 points to complete the level. Okay.
Your points I got cheats on.
You know what'd be fun is if you got to the boss level with Scar playing as that plant. Congrats, Scar, you got defeated by a bouncy plant pot.
Yes.
It'd be even more embarrassing.
The plant will now be king.
Good morning, Master
Okay,
Simba.
now you get to play as this monkey.
You're a top pride-
Master Simba, what happened to you?
I became a monkey.
But Simba, you must know, a monkey cannot rule the Pride Lands. It's called Pride for a reason.
I love how it even has a flapping arms motion for the pouncing.
Yep.
Honestly, again, these cheats seem like an interesting precursor to the idea of mods in general these days.
Yeah, you can tell the developers just put it in there for the lulz. Alright, let's see what else
And
we
of
have.
course,
Now we have Danielle Staple. I'm guessing these are names of the developers. I'm guessing all. We don't know. I don't have any actual evidence, but I'm confident that all of those names and all of their individual cheats, those are the actual developers who thought of each individual reskin that we see here. Probably.
possibly. Let's see what's next.
After you wait.
Good morning, Master
And now we get to play as a skunk.
Pasa is waiting
Oh
for you.
boy, so yeah, if you ever wanted to be alone in your cave at Pride Rock, just stink up the place a little bit. All the lionesses will go running out.
It would be amazing if they added an extra attacks for these different guys, but we're not quite to the level of, say, the Green Goblin mode from Spider-Man PS2.
It's
Okay, I
it's literally
seriously want a Scar skin.
no, not really. It's literally just a model swap. That's all it is.
Aw, no Scar. We can change the events of the movie.
And now-
so that Scar kills himself.
So it's
and,
so Clive's cheat is called Rock Hard mode. Let's see what that is.
So think about it. Yeah, Scar kills himself. Zero is worshipping a king who's still alive, even though she thinks he's dead.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And he can look at Kova and think, "Oh my God, I gave birth to him." that means his cousin is his. Oh.
You know, okay, like two things. Like you just reminded me. Did any of you ever see the
morning, Master
rip-off
Simba.
Lion King game where the game over screen is Simba killing himself?
Yeah, that's that's the bootleg Chinese game. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, you know, they changed the whole thing that Kovu isn't Scar's son, but at the same time, this is still movies about lion prides, and yeah, on that basis, they're all related. Like,
Yes.
we know this.
Oh my God, Simba is a clone.
Yeah.
A girl, you're me.
Well, yeah, they didn't change much from both models, but yeah, I don't really get what Rock Hard mode does. I mean,
I wonder if it ups the difficulty.
does it? I guess, like, I didn't experiment much with it. Like, I figure, like, I got to this point where I was like, oh, so I'm guessing all of these are just model swaps. But no, the Rock Hard mode apparently doesn't necessarily swap anything.
Let me
Yeah.
check.
Are any of the platforms different? Like,
You're an excellent tester. Thank you. Okay, so let's see what that
Oh.
sheet means.
Oh, I stand corrected on the video game thing. The Lion King 1.5 did get a video game, but it wasn't called. But the video game itself wasn't called Lion King 1.5 round here. It was just called Disney's The Lion King.
Ha!
Remember,
Yeah.
we didn't call it Lion King. We called it Lion King 3 round here.
You know,
to work on their titles for these games.
I've always
Yes,
felt
please.
like Lion King 1.5 was the better title. In fact, it's funny, we even have a trailer.
Simba, Mufasa is waiting for you atop Pride Rock.
We even had a show that made fun of that with Timon literally
Whoa.
ripping up the freeze.
So yeah, this
Oh,
so
Simba.
yeah, this cheat is the super speed cheat.
Oh God!
If only Simba had this in the movie, that would have come in real handy during the stampede.
The camera
Yeah.
can't keep up.
Stampede? That's easy. Want to
Well,
see
this-
me outrun the stampede? Want to see me do it twice?
And yeah,
Anytime.
then Scar's like, oh shit, I forgot he could do that.
Hey Pedro,
Yes.
if they wanted to force Simba into the protagonist role for both movies for this game, maybe they should have made a separate game for the girls. If not,
Just
that was a thing
so
they thought was okay.
Paul's cheat is just called sit back and watch. So I'm guessing, does it play the game for you or something?
I wonder.
Let's see.
What's the point of that?
Alright, let's
Did,
see what it does.
did this guy come up with Final Fantasy 13?
Or is it an auto runner and you just click
I want to point out that it wasn't me who made that joke, by the way.
Yeah, this is true.
That was me.
All right, let's see what we've got.
All right, so the final cheat is
Good morning, Master Simba. Mufasa is waiting for you atop Pride Rock.
He sounds extra British.
it doesn't seem to do anything because I can still control myself, so I don't really understand what that is. So I just
Alright, well okay.
Wow.
well, it didn't.
Maybe, for all we know, maybe it removes all enemies or something. I don't know.
I wonder, maybe it's something you have to venture further into the level to see the effect of.
I guess I just didn't want to play through the game with each individual cheats to check all the differences because it would just be a bit too redundant for me. All right, so that was The Lion King, Simba's Mighty Adventure. Shira, what do you think of this one?
This was okay. I feel like it did a disservice by forcing Simba into the protagonist role.
The
And
second,
also the second-
specifically the second movie portion, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and it only having 4 levels, probably as a result of that. They didn't really need to do that. Like, they could have just called, like, we were thinking of just changing the name, like Lion King Chronicles or something. I don't know. Just, like, pulling something off the top of my head. The music is okay. I probably won't remember it. It's the kind of music that like, they found something that would fit, the vibe of the movie and, the setting overall. So it's serviceable, but it's nothing amazing. Again, just a bit confused about how they paced some things, like with the fire that I mentioned at the start of the levels for the second movie. The controls seem, somebody who really likes platformers, the controls are a bit off-putting, I have to say, very slippery, but for the most part it seems fine because, again, the platforms are wide enough. It's just trying to jump on enemies seems like it's a task and a half, and it's otherwise, it's good that they a lot of the actors returned for this. Some 90s cheese got in there.
He did really great for a girl.
I'm not even gonna be mad about that. That's just like, yeah, it's a little cringe, but it's 90s cringe. So, aside from that, this was okay.
All right.
Certainly better than the mess that was the other Lion King game. Oh my god.
You talk about the Chinese bootleg one?
No, the very infamous one.
The very infamous one? Which one is that?
The one that had, I can't remember which system it was on, but the one where they had the stage that went through the Can't Wait to Be King sequence.
Oh wait, you're talking about the
She's
game.
talking about the pink flamingo right there.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that particular section sucks. But outside of that, I think the game is really good, though.
I think that one's a lot prettier than this. This is certainly a PS1 game.
I mean, yeah, that flamingo section sucks because the detection is off. But the rest of the game is really good, I will argue. Like we've talked about when we did
Oh,
it.
sure, but I know a lot of people put the game down at
that
that point.
True. It's that section is just it really is.
But,
then
but
try
anyway,
playing that on the
this one's
SNES
just okay.
version.
This one's just okay. But
Alright.
that's it.
Thank you, Shiro. Those were some really nice thoughts, coming from a girl. But
You're welcome. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to demand Disney make the Nala game.
Are you gonna do that with your cousin?
No.
I'm not touching that one off a 10-foot pole. Moving on.
We're ignoring Jova.
Debs, please
Who's
get your final thoughts.
I mean, it looks fine aside from the controls, which look like Simba's a car as opposed to a lion. The music is it is kind of like Crash Bandicoot 1 in a way, where it's more focused on the environment and
Platforming?
and, ambience. I mean,
Oh, music. Okay.
Then more so than tunes itself. I mean, if this had another game, I mean, I don't know how you make a game based off Lion King 3 with all the rewinding and everything. I mean, they did do that on the GBA one, but that's just mainly just them watch. That's just the scenes from the movie with the link being Timon and Pumbaa watching the movie. It's again, it's totally fine. It's just not, but it's nothing special. And again, some of the dialogue is a bit woof. Yeah, but yeah, other than that, it's fine.
Jova.
Yeah, honestly, I enjoyed this game. It's not the absolute cream of the corn, but honestly, as far as video game time games go, it suffices well. Gives us a nice selection of levels here. Yeah, it is kind of meme-worthy how they literally shoehorn in Simba into all the levels, including the flipping rhino stampede, which doesn't even have a cutscene for him, honestly. It's just, he got caught up in the rhino stampede. Other than that, gameplay is fine enough. Visuals, fine enough. The music, definitely going for that atmospheric vibe, which will make it not as memorable. The minigames suffice. Again, it's a game that works, and I like it.
I'm about on the same stance there as well. Like the game works fine for what it is. Yeah, it can be sometimes a bit frustrating because you'll get some dust because of the controls are not as tight as they should be. But I played worse. It still is enjoyable enough for what it is. I prefer the Mega Drive one. I think that one is a bit tighter because its overall control is better. That terrible flamingo section aside, like we said. But yeah, this one's still a fine enough alternative. The only real issue I have is that they kind of did Lion King 2 dirty by basically half-assing that movie's representation, Like Shiro said, yeah, this movie would have been much better served if we just call it something else, and we have Kiara be the proper protagonist of the Lion King 2 half, so that we can properly have more levels and follow the story better. The whole thing of staying with Simba's perspective thing, that was a mistake, if you ask me. This didn't really need to be a thing, and it really did more harm than good, if you ask me. That being said, if you're up for some nostalgia, some Lion King nostalgia, this does the job. So there's that. All right, and there's another Disney tie-in game under our belts, everybody. We do have some other PS1 stuff, like I'm sure Shira is looking forward to the Mulan point-and-click adventure game. So maybe we'll do that one next.
Not really. It's kind of like...
How bad could it be?
It's okay.
It's not that it's bad. It's just like, this exists. It's cute, and that's as far as it goes.
But the problem with the Mulan game, Jova, is that it's a point-and-click adventure game, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that, really, this is the kind of genre you pick for a Mulan video game. Not an action-packed thrill ride like Aladdin.
Or not even a platformer like Lion King. It's literally just
There's so many cool set pieces in the movie that would be so easy to turn into cool video game levels. And they restricted themselves by turning this into a point-and-click adventure game where you're just kind of collecting things, and that's basically it. It just feels
they managed to make it exciting somehow, like Ace Attorney can.
Not really. There's enough mysteries for you to solve, Jova. It's just collecting things and dressing up Mulan and minigames. But that's it. Anyway, we'll get to that. For now, let's continue. Well, not continue. Let's see it for whatever we do next, everybody.
See ya.